The doorways were low, and he had to clear the lintel beams, stepping down into the cool and earthy rooms. There was no furniture, save pallets for sleeping. Perhaps a wooden meal bin. He went from house to house. In one room, the bones of a small black and smoldering. In another, a man, the charred flesh drawn taut, the ice cooked in their sockets. There was a niche in the mud wall with figures of saints dressed in dolls' clothes. The rude wooden faces brightly painted, illustrations cut from an old journal, pasted to the wall. A small picture of a queen, a gypsy card that was the four of cups. There were strings, half-reed pepper, and a few gourds. A glass bottle that held weeds. Outside, a bare dirt yard fenced with local tillow, and around clay oven caved through where black curd trembled in the light within. He found a clay jar of beans and some dry tortillas. He took them to a house at the end of the street where the embers of the roof were still smoldering. And he warmed the food in the ashes and ate, squatting there like some deserter scavenging the ruins of a city he'd fled. When he returned to the square, Sproul was gone. All about lay in shadow. He crossed the square, mounted the stone steps to the door of the church, and entered. Sproul was standing in the vestibule. Long buttresses of light fell from the high windows in the western wall. There were no pews in the church, and the stone floor was heaped with the scalped and naked, partly eaten body of some 40 souls who barricaded themselves in this house of God against the heathen. The savages had hacked holes in the roof, shot them down from above, and the floor was littered with arrow shafts where they'd snapped them off to get the clothes from the bodies. The altars had been hauled down, and the tabernacle looted, and the great sleeping God of the Mexicans routed from his golden cup. The primitive painted saints in their frames hung on the walls, as if an earthquake had visited, and a dead Christ, and a glass spear lay broken in the chancel floor. The murdered lay and engraved their communal blood. It had set up into a sort of pudding crossed everywhere with the tracks of wolves or dogs. And along the edges it had dried and cracked into a burgundy ceramic. Blood lay in dark tongues on the floor, and blood grouted the flagstone, ran in the vestibule where the stones were cupped from the feet of the faithful, their fathers before them, and it had threaded its way down the steps, dripped from the stones among red tracks of the scavengers. Sproul turned and looked at the kid as if he'd know his thoughts. But the kid just shook his head. Flies clambered over the peeled skulls of the dead, and flies walked on their shrunken eyeballs. Come on, said the kid. They crossed the square in the last of the light, and went down the narrow street. In the doorway there lay a dead child with two buzzards sitting on it. Sproul shooed his good hand at the buzzards, and they baited hissed and flapped clumsily, but they did not fly. They set forth in the morning with first light, while wolves slank from the doorways and dissolved in the fog of the streets. They went by the southwest road the way the savages had come. A little sandy stream, cottonwoods, three white goats. They waited a ford where women lay dead at their wash. They struggled all day across a terradam smoking slag, passing from time to time the bloated shapes of dead horses. By evening they had drunk all the water they carried. They slept in the sand, woke in the early morning dark, and went on. And they walked the cinderland till they were near to fainting. In the afternoon they came upon a Coretta trace tilted on its tongue. The great wheels cut from rounds of a cottonwood trunk and pinned to the axle trees with tenons. They crawled under it for shade, slept until dark, and went on. The rind of a moon that had been in the sky all day was gone, and they followed the trail by starlight. The Pleiades straight overhead and very small, and the great bear walking the mountains to the north. My arm stinks. Sproul. What? I said, my arm stinks. You want me to look at it? What for? You can't do nothing for it. Well, you suit yourself. I aimed, said Sproul. They went on. Twice in the night, they heard the little prairie vipers rattle around the scrub, and they were afraid. With the dawn, they were climbing along shale and windstone to the wall of a dark monolith where turrets stood like basalt prophets, and they passed by the side of the road. Little wooden crosses carved in cairns of stone where travelers had met with death. The road wound up among the hills, and the castaways laboring upon the switchback, blackened under the sun. Their eyeballs inflamed, and the painted spectra racing out at the corners, climbing up through Ocotilla, prickly pear where the rocks trembled and sleared in the sun, rock and no water, and the sandy trace. And they kept watch for any green thing that might tell of water, but there was no water. They ate pinole from a bag with their fingers, went on. Through the noon heat into the dust, where lizards lay with their leather chins, flat to the cooling rocks, fended off the world with thin smiled eyes like cracked stone plates. They crested the mountain at sunset and could see for miles. An immense lake lay below them with the distant blue mountains standing in the windless span of water in the shape of a soaring hawk and trees that shimmered in the heat in a distant city, very white against the shaded hills. They sat and watched. They saw the sun drop under the jagged rim of the earth to the west, and they saw it flare behind the mountains. And they saw the face of the lake darken, and the shape of the city dissolve upon it. They slept among the rocks, face up like dead men. And in the morning they rose. There was no city, no tree, no lake, only a barren, dusty plain. Sproul groaned, collapsed back among the rocks. The kid looked at him. There were blisters along his lower lip. His arm ripped through the shirt was swollen, and something foul had seeped through among the darker bloodstains. He turned back and looked out over the valley. Yonder comes somebody, he said. Didn't answer. The kid looked at him. I ain't lying, he said. Indian, said Sproul. Ain't it? I don't know. Too far to tell. What do you aim to do? I don't know. What happened to the lake? I couldn't tell. We both saw it. People see what they want to see. Then how come I ain't seeing it now? I sure as hell want to. The kid looked out over the plain below. What if it's Indian? Said Sproul. Likely it will be. Where can we hide at? The kid spat dryly, wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. A lizard came out from under a rock, crouched on small elbows over that piece of froth, drank it dry, returned to the rock again, leaving only a faint spot in the sand, which vanished almost instantly. They waited all day. The kid made sorties down into the canyon in search of water, but he found none. Nothing moved in that purgatorial waste, save carnivorous birds. By early afternoon, they could see the horsemen on the switchbacks coming up the face of the mountain. Below them, they were Mexicans. Thank you so much for watching. Truly, the fact that you stay until the end of this video says something important about you. It shows that you care, that you're hungry, that somewhere deep inside you believe you're meant for more, and you're ready to take the small steps to get there. The blood meridian isn't just a concept. It's a way of living. It's a quiet power that works in the background, shaping your future through the choices you make. Every single day, most people ignore it. They think one small decision doesn't matter. But you're learning the truth that every small decision matters more than you can imagine. It's easy to overlook the power of just one page a day. Walking for 10 minutes, saying no to junk food, putting your phone away and focusing, saving a single penny. But those tiny steps, the ones that seem so simple, even invisible, they build momentum, and momentum results. Greatness doesn't arrive in some grand moment. It's crafted in the quiet, in the routine, in the choices that no one else sees. And if you stick with those small steps, if you keep showing up when no one claps, if you keep believing, when progress feels invisible one day, the results will speak for themselves. So today, I want to leave you with a reminder. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to keep the small things right. Read that book. Say no to that distraction. Take that walk. Be kind to that person. Be patient with yourself. Every one of those actions is a brick. And together they build the life you're dreaming of. Dot. If this video gave you even a little push of inspiration, then don't let it stop here. Like the video. Subscribe for more content like this, and share it with someone you care about. Someone who's maybe just one idea away from turning their life around. Your story still being written, and the pen is in your hand. Thanks again for watching. Keep growing, keep believing, and never forget your blood meridian begins now.